All right, other section. Now, my 2.13 was very long because I did a lot of examples, if you stuck with me the whole time. 2.14 is going to be significantly shorter. I'm going to guess maybe 4 minutes because we're really just going to use all the stuff that we did before with one additional little step for estimating. So let's put 2.14 estimation with decimal division. Make sure I put my stuff at the top. Mr. Dan, we're 92716, and we are on notes 2.14. All right, we're going to be looking at leading digits again. So remember, we have two ways to divide, two ways to estimate. We have our, I can't remember, front end estimation, and we have our leading digits. Front end is for addition and subtraction, and leading digits is for multiplication and division. Remember, front end is 12.79 plus 15.763, and this one we do our whole numbers and the tenths, and that's it. No matter how many digits there are, we do whole number plus tenths. Now with our leading digits, remember, it's a little different. We just get the first two digits of each number. Or leftmost digits. Leftmost digits. And that's how we're going to be dividing as an example, because some of the ones in our homework last time took forever because of how long they were. And this kind of avoids that, because after the tenths and sometimes even the hundredths, it's not really any more additional information for us, because we can't picture like thousandths and millionths, and it doesn't really matter very much when we're doing typical math. Now sometimes certainly it does, but often it doesn't. So let's look at an example. We're going to do 4.819 divided by 1,2,1,2,4,5. And we are going to use leading digits because notice it is division, not addition or subtraction. So I'm going to just look at my first two digits of each one. 4.8, now I'm going to round so I can look at my next number. It's a 1, so I can keep it as a 4.8 divided by 1.2. Here's my first two digits, and I have 4, so I'm not going to need to change it, which is nice. So I have a 1.2. So I have 4.8 divided by 1.2. Now again, I'm going to need to change my 1.2 into a whole number. So I'm going to slide my decimal point over 1, so I get 12. But if I do that, I need to do the same thing over here. So I end up with, 48. See that sly move right there? Yeah, exactly. Now I can set it up. 12 divided by 48. Sorry, that was a terrible division. But this time it's going to be pretty easy. I'm not going to need to do a lot of steps, because I'm going to guess that 12 goes into 48 4 times. And I'm going to test it real quick. 12 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. So it is 4 times. And I can test 48. I've got 0, so I'm done. So my answer is 4, my decimal point. I would have to bring up, but I don't have to worry about it. I'm good. So basically, the only thing we're going to have to do in this section is remember how to do our leading digits. Okay, let's look at one more. We're going to look at 6.4256 divided by 2.2453. And we're going to use our leading digits to estimate, then we're going to divide. Okay, so let's look. It doesn't really matter where I start here. We got my first two digits, so I'm going to keep it as 6.4, because notice my 2 does not tell me to go up. 2.2, here's my first two digits. My 4 doesn't tell me to go up either. So I have 6.4 divided by 2.2. Nice. Now I have to divide though, so I need to bring my decimal point over to turn it into a whole number. So I have 22, and I need to do the same thing with one spot. So I have 64 divided by 22. Okay, let's set it up and get going. 22 divided by 64. Okay, 22, I'm going to guess it goes in 3 times. Let's say 22 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 60. Oh, it's just too big. So it's going to be 2 times. 22 times 2, which I can really do in my head. I know it's 44. So I'm going to put my 44 below. So 22 times 2 is 44. I'm going to subtract. 64, or 4 minus 4 is 0. 6 minus 2 is 0. Remember, I can bring more zeros in on my 64 if I want to. I'm going to bring down a 0. So I've got 200. How many 22s are in 200? I'm going to guess 8. 22 times 8 is 16, 17, 176. I think I can fit another one in there. So I'm going to go times 9. 22 times 9 is 18. 9 times 2 is 18. 19. Oh, 198. Nice. Almost got it all in there. So I can put 198. Oh, but that isn't 0. So I can see that's 2, but I'll carry. So I need to borrow from this. I can't. Oh, so I'll turn this to a 1. Turn this to a 10. Oh, need to borrow again. Turn that to a 9. Turn this into a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 9 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. Oh, so close to 0. Okay, I got to bring down another 0. Now I have 20. How many 22s are in 20? 0, unfortunately. And then I have 0 that I subtract by. So I've still got 20. So I need to bring down another 0. I've got 200. Wait, this is starting to look very familiar because I just did 200 before. If I start to see a pattern like this, I notice that I'm going to have a repeating decimal. I'm going to go a little bit farther just to show you what it looks like, but it should definitely show up. So this 200, I know that 9 is as close as I can get. So I'm going to put my 9 up here. 9 times 22. 9 times 22 is 198. Gives me 2 left. Again, let's put some more zeros. I'm going to bring this 0 all the way down. Gives me a 20. That's a 0. I can bring down which minus 0 gives me 20. Bring down another 0 to 200, which gives me a 9. Alright, this is definitely a repeating decimal. I don't need to go any farther. I could have actually stopped a little sooner when I realized it. I'm going to bring my decimal point up here, and this one's going to keep going forever. Now, typically, when we have a repeating decimal, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. Round to nearest tenth. So I've got my tenth right here. I've got my 9. So this is all as far as I need to go. Because I'll look at this 9, look to the right. I've got a 0. So I know that I can stop here and I'm good and I'm done. So my answer here is 2.9. Oops. Did not mean to put another little dot there. I don't know why I did that. So remember for this second part, it's just leading digits. So again, if I have like 3,492.17, let's put a smaller number in front. 47.92. Oh wait, oops. Ugh. I wanted it in the back. Divided by 42.94. I'm really going to just look at my first 2 digits, no matter the place value. So this I would write as 3,400 divided by 42. Alright, leading digits. If you have a question, ask me. Good luck.